What if a misunderstood story shaped your community's destiny for millennia? What if a single act of devotion was seen as rebellion, branding your people as outcasts? Hello and welcome, Rev Arcane, to the Dark Primordial. I'm your host, Ken Schroer, and today we're unraveling the rich tapestry of Yazidism, one of the world's oldest and most enigmatic religions. From its origins steeped in ancient Mesopotamia to the resilient spirit of its people, this is a journey of faith, survival, and the struggle for truth. The Yazidis are a Kurdish-speaking minority indigenous to Mesopotamia, a region often called the cradle of civilization. With roots stretching back over 7,000 years, Yazidism predates most major world religions. Yet despite its age and cultural significance, the Yazidis have long been shrouded in mystery, often misunderstood or misrepresented by outsiders. Their homeland, nestled in the rugged mountains of northern Iraq, has provided both refuge and isolation, allowing them to preserve their unique traditions while remaining vulnerable to persecution. Smaller Yazidi communities are also found in Syria, Turkey, Armenia, and the diaspora across Europe. Today, the Yazidis represent a living link to Mesopotamia's ancient spiritual heritage, embodying resilience in the face of millennia of challenges. But why has this community faced such extraordinary hardship? To understand, we need to explore the origins and evolution of their faith, a belief system shaped by some of the most influential religious traditions in history. To trace the origins of Yazidism is to delve into the depths of ancient history. While its current form began to crystallize in the 12th century, under the influence of Sheikh Adi ibn Musafir, Yazidism draws from a myriad of older spiritual and cultural traditions. Sheikh Adi, a Sufi mystic, settled in northern Iraq, bringing his teachings to a region already rich in ancient religious practices. His integration of Sufism's mystical element, focusing on an inner connection to the divine, with existing local beliefs, laid the groundwork for modern Yazidism. However, the story doesn't start or end with him. The Yazidi cosmology bears striking similarities to Zoroastrianism, the ancient Persian religion that emphasized the duality of good and evil, the sacredness of fire, and the cyclical nature of time. Yazidi rituals such as the lighting of oil lamps during pilgrimages echo these ancient practices. Further back in time, Yazidism absorbed influences from Proto-Indo-Iranian religions, which venerated nature as a reflection of divine will. Gnostic traditions, with their focus on esoteric knowledge and the battle between light and darkness, also found their way into Yazidi theology. Christianity contributed the practice of baptism, and Yazidi mythology carries echoes of Christian themes, such as the creation of Adam. From Islam, particularly Sufism, Yazidism adopted the mystical search for truth and the concept of divine intermediaries. However, Yazidism stands distinct, having synthesized these elements into a cohesive, unique belief system. This remarkable syncretism, melding Mesopotamian, Kurdish, Islamic, Christian, Zoroastrian, and even Judaic traditions, makes Yazidism not only a religion, but a living testament to the cultural crossroads of Mesopotamia. Yazidism is, at its core, a monotheistic religion. Yazidis believe in one supreme creator, known as Yazdan or Khuda, who brought the universe into being. However, their conception of this divine being is quite different from that found in other monotheistic faiths. According to Yazidi belief, after creating the world, Yazdan became somewhat detached from its day-to-day affairs. Instead, Yazdan created 7 divine beings, or angels, to oversee the functioning of the universe. These angels, known as the Heft Sur, or 7 mysteries, are emanations of the divine and serve as intermediaries between God and creation. The supreme among these angels is Tuwusi Melek, the peacock angel. Tuwusi Melek holds a position of paramount importance in Yazidi theology, serving as the direct link between the divine and humankind. He is seen as the executor of the divine will, the active force of creation, and the protector of the Yazidi people. The story of Tuwusi Melek is central to Yazidi belief, and is often misunderstood by outsiders. According to Yazidi tradition, when God created the angels, he ordered them to bow to no one but him. Later, when God created Adam, he ordered the angels to bow to his new creation. All the angels obeyed except Tuwusi Melek, who refused. stating that he would bow only to God as originally commanded. Far from being punished for this act, Tawusi Melik was rewarded by God for his loyalty and made the chief of all angels. This story, while superficially similar to the tale of Lucifer's fall in Christian and Islamic traditions, has a radically different meaning in Yazidism. Tawusi Melik's refusal to bow is seen as an act of supreme loyalty to God, not one of pride or rebellion. However, this misinterpretation has fueled centuries of persecution, branding the Yazidis as devil worshippers, a deeply offensive and inaccurate label. The Yazidi creation myth is a rich tapestry of symbolism and meaning. According to their beliefs, in the beginning, the world was a pearl floating in the cosmic ocean. God created this pearl and then broke it, using the pieces to form the physical universe. The creation of humanity is another fascinating aspect of Yazidi mythology. The story goes that God intended Adam, the first man, to be immortal and flawless. However, Tawusi Melik criticized this decision, arguing that Adam couldn't be perfect if he was to reproduce and populate the earth. God, in his wisdom, left the decision to Tawusi Melik, effectively placing the world's destiny in the angel's hands. This act underscores the crucial role of Tawusi Melik in Yazidi theology. He is not just a messenger or servant of God, but a being with significant power and responsibility. The story continues with Adam eating wheat, which he had been forbidden from doing. This act led to his expulsion from paradise, mirroring similar stories in other Abrahamic tradition. However, in the Yazidi version, this expulsion is not seen as a fall or a punishment, but rather as a necessary step in the unfolding of creation. Following Adam's expulsion, a second generation of Yazidis was born. This generation is believed to have been created in a unique way through the union of Adam and another male figure, emphasizing the Yazidi belief in their distinct origin and special place in the divine plan. Yazidi theology encompasses several other important concepts that shape their worldview and practices.
Reincarnation is a belief held by many Yazidis. They believe in the soul's rebirth after death, with the possibility of progression or regression based on one's actions in life.
This belief in reincarnation sets Yazidism apart from many other monotheistic faiths and adds a layer of complexity to their understanding of life, death, and the afterlife. The Yazidi social structure is organized into a rigid religious hierarchy or caste system. At the top are the sheikhs, who are considered to be descended from Tawusi Melik himself. Below them are the pirs, or priests, who perform various religious functions. The majority of Yazidis belong to the Murid caste, the lay worshippers. This caste system is an integral part of Yazidi identity and religious practice, with strict rules governing marriage and social interaction between castes. A profound connection with nature is another hallmark of Yazidi belief. Yazidis see themselves as intimately connected to the natural world, viewing it as a manifestation of divine creation. This belief is reflected in their reverence for certain natural phenomena, such as the sun, and in their practice of facing the sun during prayer. Perhaps one of the most distinctive aspects of Yazidi theology is their conception of good and evil. In Yazidi belief, the greater world exists without concepts of evil, sin, or the devil as understood in many other religions. Instead, they believe that good and evil reside within humans, dependent on their free will. This nuanced understanding of morality sets Yazidism apart from many other faiths and has unfortunately contributed to its misunderstanding by outsiders. Yazidism is primarily an oral tradition, with its beliefs, myths, and practices passed down through generations via stories, hymns, and poems. This oral nature of the religion has contributed to its resilience over the centuries, allowing it to adapt and survive in the face of persecution. However, it has also led to some variation in practices and beliefs among different Yazidi communities.
One of the most important practices in Yazidism is pilgrimage. Every Yazidi is expected to make a pilgrimage to the tomb of Sheikh Adi in Lalesh, northern Iraq, at least once in their lifetime.
This pilgrimage is seen as a spiritual journey, a chance to connect with the divine and with the community's history. The most significant pilgrimage occurs annually from September 15th to 20, when Yazidis from all over the world gather at Lalesh. During this time, the community comes together to celebrate, pray, and renew their faith. The atmosphere is one of joy and reverence, with rituals including the lighting of hundreds of oil lamps, and the tying of colorful cloths to the pillars of Sheikh Adi's tomb. Fasting is another important practice in Yazidism. Similar to Muslims, Yazidis observe fasting periods, although the timing and duration of these fasts can vary. The most important fast is the 3-day fast in December, which commemorates the creation of the world and the descent of Tawusi Melek to earth. Baptism plays a crucial role in Yazidi religious life. Children are baptized with water from the white spring at Lalesh, which is considered sacred. This baptism is performed by a priest and is seen as a way of welcoming the child into the Yazidi community and faith. Yazidi weddings are colorful affairs, blending religious tradition with joyous celebration. Brides traditionally dress in red, symbolizing fertility and new life. Interestingly, Yazidi brides often visit Christian churches before their weddings, lighting candles and praying for blessings. This practice highlights the complex interplay between Yazidism and other religions in the region. Other important rituals include the Sema, a form of worship involving hymns and circle dances, and the practice of Kul, the recitation of sacred text. These practices help to reinforce community bonds and pass on religious knowledge to younger generations. The Yazidis have suffered greatly due to misconceptions about their faith. From the Arab conquests to the atrocities committed by ISIS in 2014, Yazidi history is marked by persecution. Yazidi oral tradition speaks of 72 historical genocides against their people, a number that, while possibly symbolic, speaks to the depth of suffering this community has endured. Yazidis report facing massacres since the Arab invasion of the Middle East in 637 AD. Throughout the centuries of Ottoman rule, Yazidis faced periodic persecution, often being given the choice between conversion to Islam or death. Many fled to the mountains, seeking refuge in remote, inaccessible areas. In the modern era, the persecution of Yazidis has continued. Under the regime of Saddam Hussein in Iraq, Yazidis faced discrimination and forced relocation. Their villages were destroyed, and they were pressured to identify as Arabs rather than as a distinct ethnic group.
In 2014, when the so-called Islamic State, ISIS, launched a genocidal campaign against the Yazidi people in northern Iraq, thousands were killed and hundreds of thousands were displaced.
Hundreds of thousands of Yazidis were forced to flee their homes, many seeking refuge on Mount Sinjar, where they faced starvation and dehydration before international aid arrived. This attack on the Yazidi people was recognized as an act of genocide by the United Nations and various governments around the world. The aftermath of this atrocity continues to affect the Yazidi community today, with thousands still displaced and many women and children unaccounted for. The Yazidi tradition is a rich, complex faith that has survived millennia despite facing severe persecution. Its unique blend of various religious elements, its profound respect for nature, and its misunderstood central figure have all contributed to its distinctiveness, and tragically, to the suffering of its followers. In our modern world, where understanding and tolerance are more crucial than ever, it's essential that we look beyond surface-level judgments and strive to appreciate the depth and beauty of traditions like Yazidism. By doing so, we not only enrich our own understanding of the world's religious diversity, but also contribute to creating a more inclusive and peaceful global community.
The Yazidis remind us of the power of faith and the human spirit. Their ancient traditions, rooted in tolerance and reverence for the divine, challenge us to look beyond prejudice and embrace understanding.
As the Yazidi saying goes, the path of life is toward truth. Let us honor their story by seeking truth and fostering compassion in our own lives.
Thanks for watching. If you found this video enlightening, please like, subscribe, and share with others who might also be interested in exploring the histories and struggles of lesser-known spiritual traditions across the globe. Additionally, consider supporting the Dark Primordial by visiting our Etsy and Shopify stores. There you'll find a curated selection of handcrafted, witchcrafted pagan accessories to enhance your own spiritual practice. From hand-poured candles to intricately painted talismans, each item is imbued with intention and power. Until next time, may you become one with your own abyss.